Evening, good evening. Hello all. Welcome in. Welcome in. Hello Mark, I've seen you in the chat. Um gonna make sure this is working a minute. But yes, good evening. Evening, good evening. Okay, we're in. Hello everybody, welcome. If you're watching this live, hello, welcome in. If you're watching this back on YouTube, hello, welcome in. Hope everyone's had a good week and a good Sunday, good weekend. Good Sunday. I didn't put my miniatures on the table, so I'm getting them. That's why I look like I'm busy. There we go. Right. How was everyone? I will say before we get going, if you are new to the stream or new to this video on YouTube, watching this back, hello. We've all our previous streams are on the playlist. There is a playlist down. So go check it out if you want to see what we've been getting up to before now. As quite a bit. I think I don't know what stream we're on now. Maybe 11 or 12. So quite a few. But yeah, we've done at the moment we're working on some American Civil War cavalry. So this is a Saddlebags and Sabres stream. Should have said that at the start. So yeah, here we are. We're in. Yeah. So we're working on some cavalry, and then previously we're working on some artillery. So if you're interested in that, go check them out. Check out previous streams if you want. If not, I'm going to be doing some sort of videos about them at some point. Anyway, back to the chat, Mark. Not bad. How are you? I'm good, thank you. I've had a good day, a chill day, but a good day. How are you? More importantly, how's your head? But I think we're probably at a point now where we're done with the cavalry. I say that. It's been coming over the last couple of episodes or streams. Right, I'm going to just show off something I've done. So we know on the side of in between streams, rather than working on what I've been working on in the streams, I started up painting up some other cavalry, and that's these chums. So this is just some US Cav, a generic US Cav, just an old set I had painted, primed or built. So I went and primed them white, and yeah, these guys are all done. So I'm painting these in the same style. Oh yeah, thank you, Mark. Sorry, I've got a testy string. Thanks, Mark. I did think I thought I can. I thought I caught that. I thought I caught it. Obviously not. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so I've painted these in the exact same style as how I'm painting my Confederates. Obviously these are just Union blue. So yeah, like a nice sort of a quick paint job. But they're done now. Well, they're based. I need to finish off the basing, but that's about it. I'm just trying to see if I can hear that stream in the background still. Yeah, and then this is one of the free flags from Studio Historia that I got printed. Which yeah, it is got a gloss finish on how I've had it printed, but the camera makes it look worse because there's a torch on the camera. But oh yeah, right. I'll have to just turn it off. Sorry, I'll just reply to Mark who says you can in fact hear the stream. Off he goes. Yeah, so a cheap alternative to getting flags for these miniatures was just some free ones from Studio Story. So yeah, I haven't trimmed it. I haven't finished off a flag yet. I've literally stuck it down earlier. So but yeah, that's a group of Union cavalry done. Again, if anyone doesn't know, we're doing these as groups of 8. They are individually based. Why is a good question. I just did. I think for other projects down the line, I might do 2 to a base. But obviously, in terms of painting models, it kind of makes it easier to put them on. Maybe with the Perry's plastics, it's not too bad, but with, for example, sculpts like Studio Storia and how they don't really have a base to them, you kind of got to put them on bases anyway. So for now, they'll be individual, but maybe one day I'll swap two to a base, do like a 40mm base, or at the moment all my miniatures are on 45mm bases. Again, a bit of a weird. I say all my miniatures, all my infantry are, so obviously cavalry are slightly different. These cavalry are on 25mm by 50mm. These are on pill bases, the others are on sort of rounded squares. So they're technically got 50mm frontage per 2 model base. So it was a bit bigger than my infantry. But yeah, I just wasn't smart with how I based my models, unfortunately. Right, so I have actually just started building up some more Perry Miniatures stuff. I did this last night because I've got a box set of Perry Miniatures cavalry, so I've actually probably could scrape another 8 horse unit again. So there's 8 here, and then maybe another 8, which I could scrape together with bits and bobs from my boxes. But I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them yet. I know definitely one of them I'm going to do the Pennsylvania Lancers. But for now, yeah, we'll just forget them for now. But yeah, that's obviously not whilst we're here. Why we are here, sorry. We are here for the finishing my Confederates. So 1st Virginia Cavalry are almost finished. It's just a matter of doing the wood and the guns, I think. And all the details. As for the Lancers, I just need to do the hats, the flesh, and then all the metallics and stuff. And I'm not entirely sure how I want to do the hats. But I think for now we're going to quickly dive in and do the insignia and whatnot on the Lancers, because at the end of last stream I blocked them in white ready to hit them with a contrast, because I decided I'm going to do the detailing in white for the rank insignia and whatnot, which is fine. Allowed. Let's not put too much time. Mark says the flags look slick. Thank you. Yeah, I'm kind of a bit basic with it, but someone made a good point with. Oh yeah, I've just realised this. Banner Bearer is going to have yellow piping on his chest as well. I don't know if that's what I should be doing, but so when you do your flags, let's just talk about that for a sec. Why not? When you do your flags, for example, like I've done here, or let's go this face because it's a bit more obvious. On the triangle bits, like on the line of the flag, you've got like the white bit where it's not quite overlapped, right? Or more importantly, on the top of the flag here, it shows white because obviously it's side of the paper. So someone made a good point in one of my videos, which commented ages ago, just saying colour that in. So I'll probably just go in over the blue bit here. I'll just put a bit of blue there, a bit of red on top, and it just makes the flag just look that little bit better rather than just having those obvious white edges. So if you're not doing that yet, there you go. Maybe you are now. So a lot of corporals in this cavalry unit. No, he's not. He is. I think that's it. So yeah, I could have done their collars and cuffs yellow as well, but and yeah, looking back on it, it might be nice to have a bit more yellow when I first envisioned doing this unit, I was thinking of having them just in sort of real rough uniforms, like a lot of browns, button-ups and what not, and that's why the sort of yellow cuffs never really came to mind. I've got to do this guy as well. Yeah, so it's sort of an afterthought, really, going back in and hitting yellow on there. So that's why it's all a bit. So yeah, maybe in the future I'll. Because it is nice to have. It's nice to have that yellow on there. Just makes them stand out a bit. Just remember this officer I've done his stripes on his trousers as well and his collar, so he's nice in yellow. Which again, yeah, they're cavalry after all. It's really hard to say because on paper, you know, technically they should be having these yellow cuffs, yellow collars and stuff like that because they're cavalry. But I think again, like with anything with the Civil War, once you hit sort of campaign and or mid to late in the war, like campaign, that kind of goes out the window because it's more down to what they can get their hands on rather than regulation. So, but there's some smart units out there, I'm sure. Right, I think I'm just going to go in and do the flesh colours. And then I'm going to go back in and do the hats on the Lancers. I think I'll just get the flesh out of the way. It's always the funnest part to do anyway. But yeah, let's put that like that so you can see it. There's the... But yeah, it'll be a unit done and it'll be nice. Hello, Tim. Welcome in. How are you? How's your weekend been? I've had a relaxed one and just got the Christmas tree today, which I know is early. I'm sure maybe a few of you might be opinionated on the subject. But yeah, that's a job done today, which is nice. Good. Our first Texas Lancer with face. Tim is rebasing all your American Civil War stuff. Oh, mate, fair play. Good luck. I was very close to. I had a bit of a quiet night last night. I had a bit of time to myself, so I was like, oh, what do I get up to? So I reorganized all my boxes with my American Civil War stuff in because they were all a bit of a mess. So at the moment, I kind of got all the artillery in one box and like all my infantry in other boxes, all the officers together. For example, I over the last few streams where I've been showing off my artillery and how much I've got and whatnot, I've actually gone on and found another like 6 pieces of artillery all painted up and obviously based up, which were just in different boxes of infantry and whatnot. So they've all been... So all my Confederate artillery are in one box. All my Union artillery in one box. And yeah, I just neated up all the infantry and stuff. And yeah, I need to go back through and sort some of my Confederates out, cavalry out as well, because I think a while ago when I did the game at Battle Bunker HQ, when they invited me over for an American Civil War game, I think I pinched one of my banner bearers for one of my cavalry for the Confederates, and I made him sort of a divisional commander's flag bearer, just because I thought it looked nice. So yeah, now one of my units is missing a flag bearer, so I need to go and get one back. I will let him dry a bit more. So yeah, I need to kind of go back in and sort them out. I might just have to pick up another sprue of American Civil War cavalry. just to kind of plug all the holes in the collection of like missing ones. Or I mean, I could just buy another box because that would give me another unit. Because I think I'm about 4, or yeah, about 4 cavalry short. So if I bought another box, that would give me 12, and I can have 8, 8 for a new regiment. And then those leftovers can make up my my missing ones. Right, Tim, I have the mules and rider printed from Studio Store. Next week I'll print the wagons. Oh, very nice. Yeah, I did look at all that a while back. I think maybe after when you mentioned it, I went and re-downloaded all the files from the Kickstarter. So yeah, they do look nice. I'm not in a position to print anything at the moment. I'm just getting through stuff rather than making more stuff. I got questions correct on the chase yesterday, thanks to your channel, Matt. Can't remember the question now, but I know the answer was American Civil War. Did I read that? Sorry, I'm half asleep. Did I read that right? I got a question correct. There we go. I think I read that weird. Mark was smashing the chase down to my waffle of American Civil War stuff. That's good. I'm really interested to know what the question was, so might have to try rewind your memory, see if you can get it. If it was a Thanksgiving question, then you technically told me that. So I've last stream as well. I used that pen to colour in all the metallics, like the silvers. The only thing is the not really liking the silver, which is Army Painter's polished silver. I think it's a bit too bright. So I'm going back to... I'm just going to use lead belcher for now, which is something I used previously. It's my old recipe. I just know it and I like it. So lead belcher with a known oil wash. I did try to use broadsword silver as well, which is another speed paint from Army Painter, but I'm not massively sold. I don't mind it, I'm just not massively sold on it. So in fact, I think I might paint it broadsword speed paint, and then if I need to, I can go back over with a known. Just because I like the way the known just slightly sits in the recesses and just adds a bit of a... Yeah, I prefer it. So yeah. And as for the gold, I think what I did is I used the pen to paint the gold, and then I went back, then I washed it with a known oil, and then just highlighted it. So again, it's not a bad paint, it's just not quite what I want to finish it with. So but alas, there is the majority of the Texas Lancers faces done. They more, I say more or less. They're not miles away of being done. Right, I think let's get into this now. Let's get into the first Virginia. I think I'm gonna go in and paint their gun stocks. For anyone who doesn't know, I've been using this recently for the gun stocks. Army Painter Fire Drake. This gives a nice colour, I think. Very similar to how what my old recipe was with Citadel paints. So it's almost a like for like what I used to do. So it's nice. one. When you convert Perry Cav into Yank Lancers, don't forget the hat. Do tell, Tim. What the picture I saw, they were just wearing a kepi. So unless I got that wrong, to share. They got a special little hat that they wear. Oh, in fact, I don't think I finished the gold on him. No, I haven't. Just thinking about it, I've done the gold detailing on my Union Cav, not these guys. Maybe I'll have to go back, Tim, and have a look at the Lancers and see what they wore. The picture I saw, I thought they just wore kepis, but maybe I had it wrong. Maybe I should have shook this pot a bit better, as it just doesn't seem... Alright, that's it. I think with these First Virginia, they got tapped their sort of arm, their sort of wrist things. For their swords. I'm going to do them black, I think. I think I've just chucked my black somewhere. Tim says, I might be mixed up. I might be thinking of the Jersey Boys. The Jersey Boys musical sensation. Pennsylvania Lancers. Let's see what it says. Yeah, I'm happy. I might be wrong. A lot of stuff I'm looking at right now. I'm pretty sure the Jersey Cavalry. Yeah, they were quite dressed up, weren't they? They had definitely a different uniform. It might be them you're thinking of. I missed that guy. Gun. Oh yeah, gun strap. I already forgot what I was doing. Not gun strap, sword strap. Right, that sword is fine, that's fine. This one might have one. Nope. This one has one, definitely. Yeah, I think I'm just going to do the little tufts from the saber straps as just black, because the rest of the detailing on them are black. Yeah, I was thinking of the third New Jersey Cav. Yeah, I know they've got quite fancy looking uniform. All right. Let's see if this cavalry officer is ready to paint the flesh. Hello, Storm of Steel. Welcome in. How are you? Thank you very much. It's been a long time coming. but we're up near completion. But yeah. How are you anyway? How are you this weekend? Have you had a good weekend? Have you had a good week? Tim says it was the hat that I described as a pork pie hat. Yeah, that's right. That's the one. Hello, Thomas. Welcome in. Late as usual. No worries. No worries. Progress is slow as usual, so you haven't missed much. We were waffling. I finished some Union cavalry. So this is that sort of regiment or cavalry regiment that I've just been doing on the side in between streams. So rather than painting what we're painting on stream, I thought I would just do something on the side. So yeah, these Union boys are done now. I just got to finish their basing. Oh, they're finished. Yeah, I was saying earlier, this is the flag that a free flag I got from Studio Astoria, which I got printed. So it's a bit glossy, but and I've not finished it yet. I need to finish all the trimming and stuff. But I mean, yeah, I like it. It's nice. So yeah, yeah, pretty happy. We're just chugging along. Yeah. So this officer is just going to do his skin now, but I've done all the yellow detailing, which is quite nice. So I was over South York's Air Museum. Oh, nice. Filming the big game of Operation Sea Lion put on by First Corps. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That sounds cool. Sounds very cool. I just, as I read First Corps, something just sprang to mind about First Corps, but something separate. It's I'm doing I'm going to a Lardy Day in February in Bristol, and someone's doing an American Civil War sharks practice with some First Corps miniatures as well. So a slight link. Oh, that sounds cool though. Operation Sea Lion. Mark, in case you're still watching, Operation Sea Lion, I'll fill you in, is Hitler's plan of invading the UK, I believe. Or of anyone in the chat. I'm only saying that because I know Mark would be interested. At Big Store, so yes, at Big, yeah, Bristol Independent Gaming, yeah. February the I can't remember the day now. Yes, it is. So because I live a stone's throw from Big, I should make more of an effort to go to these things, but I don't. I missed the last couple just because it was bad timing. So when this one came up, I was like, nope, I want to go. Yeah, so, but yeah, Big's great. And the Lardy days are fantastic. They really knock it out of the park with it. It's really well run, and I've not had a bad game there yet. I say bad. I've not had a bad experience there. You know, there's a few, because the way they obviously put a load of games on, and I just tend to throw myself in. When you pay for your ticket, you could possibly you can kind of request maybe specific games or whatever. Whereas I'll normally just say no, I'll play whatever, because this is just a great opportunity to get systems you haven't played before or periods you haven't played before. I've got played. That's when I first played Chain of Command. I played O Group for the first time there. I played some great French Indian War. Sharks practice there. I've played some sort of. I think it was their cowboy game. It was like that, but I think it was a modification, and it was run not in cowboy times. But no, it's a great opportunity to check out games. And everyone who puts a game on always does a cracking job at it. It's always really to a really good standard. So yeah, it's cool. So yeah, I've not really had a bad experience or anything like that. Like I said, there's a few games where I wouldn't have normally chose them, but then that's the fun of trying something new. What a Cartel, yes. Is it that? Or did I see that? I can't remember now. I definitely saw a Mafia style one. Actually, yeah, I'm getting confused. So I saw a Mafia one, but I did one, and it was like a World War II type like Spec Ops thing. So you had like some Germans having to do an objective, and then so I can't actually remember what rule system it was based off now. Actually, thinking about it, maybe it was just loosely adapted from Chain of Command. I don't know. But no, that was fun as well. So yeah, I've done World War II, French Indian War. Done a really good game of 15 mil Chain of Commands, which is fantastic. So yeah, yeah. So far, I had a really good time. But yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see this Operation Sea Lion game. I must admit, it's a cool what if scenario. Big fan of what if scenarios. Really interested in like the Trent Affair for American Civil War. Something I want to try a game at some point. Sorry, I have missed someone in the chat. John, hello John, welcome in. Cavalry looking good, thank you very much. How are you, John? Have you had a good weekend? Was it Chicago Ganses by Great Escape? So no, Thomas, it was a game or a adaptation of a game by Two Fat Lardies. I didn't really explain myself when I started talking about this Lard game day. So basically, it's a game day run at my local games club where it's sort of you can buy a ticket and you just sort of bring your own dice and that's it. And basically people put on demo games and you just get thrown into them, but they're all a Two Fat Lardies rule set game, or quite often you get a someone might do their own spin on it. So for example, chap called Mike runs a Lord of the Rings mass battle game. I can't remember what that's based off now, but I think that's that Midgard. I don't know. So yeah, that's cool. So yeah, all the games will be an adaptation of or a straight cut of a Two Fat Lardies rule system. So yeah, I can't remember quite exactly which rule it was that I played, which was this sneaky one, but it was good. Yeah, today's game was based on Andy Johnson's book, Silo Nord, where the German forces land on the Yorkshire coast. Oh, that's cool. What I don't know if I'm going to be asking for spoilers, but what was it in 28 mil scale, or was it? Assume being first core, it probably was. But yeah, great. That would be a good scenario. Fair play. Just need to. These boys finished. I was saying, I think near the end of last stream, that the next few streams we're going to be working on the ambulance from Perry Miniatures. We're going to get him painted up, and then maybe a HQ officer. So well, la di da. Yes, thank you, Mark. Mark, you should be going, mate. You should come on down for the day. It's fun. I'm trying to convince my other gaming mates to go because it's literally just turn up. You don't need to know the rules. It's all sort of taught to you. Like I played O Group for the first time. In fact, Chain of Command for the first time there. And I'm not the sharpest on rules anyway. So I think even when I played Sharps Practice a couple of times at Lardy Days, it was just nice having someone knowing you've got an umpire basically for every game. So yeah, you've got someone who can help out, which is really nice. Yeah, using 28mm first core miniatures, that makes sense. This video will be out in the next couple of weeks, and I have a short in the next couple of days. Oh, very cool. I'll keep an eye out on it, mate. That sounds cool. That sounds good. I'm not really sure. I've checked out any of first cores. I've only really looked at first core for their American Civil War. In fact, actually, and English Civil War. But yeah, I've not really looked at any of their other stuff. Maybe I ought to. No, but that's cool though. That first call said they'll be coming to Big. I might be able to chat to him. Yeah, very much recommended, as the umpires know the rules well, and it was always a good laugh. It is. It's a very It's definitely something I've noticed that at these Lardy days, it's just a very relaxed environment. You know, I've only ever come across two people that I would consider were a smidge gamey for the day. You know, for something that I thought was just quite relaxed and chilled. And I've been 3 times now, so that's 6 games. But unfortunately, they were on my team, and they weren't bad people. They were competitive, and I'm there for the fun, you know. So yeah. Anyone painted Warlord's Infantry of the Sun King? Thinking of running 7 Years War on the Austrian Successions and also a small diorama. Ooh. I've not, but let me know how you get on. That sounds cool. Okay, I'm going to duck out. I was just checking YouTube and saw you were live, so I thought I'd see what's happening. Enjoy the rest of your painting cavalry. They look great so far. Thank you very much, mate. Take steady, and I look forward to seeing your video in the next couple of weeks. I'll keep an eye out. Have a good rest of your night, and yeah. Cheers. Yeah, I don't know. What's the Sun King? There's so much out there at the moment. It's just all a bit much, and you can get lost in it all. I find it funny that I was just talking to Storm of Steel saying about like First Corps. Yeah, I've looked into First Corps quite a bit, but I've only really ever looked into their American Civil War range. Not realizing they've got like a load of other ranges, and then you think like it's a bit like that. There's just so much out there these days. It's hard to keep on top of it all. I used to be quite switched on with releases and what was out there, but I think having a sort of a year off from the hobby, just kind of not really in it at the moment. It was really nice when they brought these this American Civil War range. I mean, I must admit, been pretty spoilt in the last few years. We had a couple of mini releases from Perry's a couple of years back when they released those mounted colonels and the mounted flag bearers. So that was a nice little thing. And then obviously the Warlords releasing their range. I would say we've been a bit spoiled. And then obviously that's excluding 3D printable stuff, which we've had a lot come through. So we've been quite blessed. We are a few men down for the ACW campaign and want a new period to play for a while just between now and New Year. Oh, nice. Very nice. Robert, hello, welcome in. How are you? Hope you had a good weekend. I hope you've had a good week as well. I hope everyone's had a good week. How's it going with your cavalry? We're getting there. We're getting there. I'm doing more chatting than painting at the moment, but plenty of time. We are just doing the wood on the lances and the guns, and then we're going to be for the Texas. We're going to be painting the hats because I still haven't decided what I'm going to do for that. And then really we are on to the metallics, like the gunmetal and the gold. Once that's done, we are done. I reckon that will be lining up nicely with the 2-hour mark. And then yeah, roll on another stream. I was just saying we're going to be doing the ambulance next stream, which would be cool. I'm quite excited about it. We're doing that. Mark says the night is young. The night is young. My eyes don't feel young right now. They feel very tired and drowsy. So, good. I've just remembered I've not brought my drink up with me as well. Left it downstairs. It's a pain. But yeah, we are close. We are close to finishing these cavalry. For anyone who's fairly recently joined, I was showing off my Union cavalry that I finished up the other day. So I'm going to quickly get them out again. Only needed a few, but yeah. So they are almost done. I just need to finish the bases. But yeah. So that was that unit that I've been painting in between streams. Again, very, very similar paint scheme to how I've been painting these Confederates, only Union colours. Oh, so so yeah. Yeah, I don't know if any of you. I assume most of you have heard of Storm Steel, wargaming, but if not, go check out the channel because they're top tier YouTube content creators in the hobby. So yeah, if you haven't checked them out already, go check them out. I know them for a lot for their sort of. I often watch their chain of command stuff. But yeah, they do a lot of stuff. So yeah, go check them out. They're great. They're great. Right. Texas Lancers are looking very good, actually. Oh, I'm just a bit tired. I'm like, oh, we're so close. We're so close to getting these finished. These will make a nice unit, and they'll be done, and then rejoice. Right, I'm going to put a little bit of water in here, but I don't want much. I'll wash that off and just get my tip back. Right, let's go back on the 1st Virginia. Let's get the bugler. Now, he has got a sort of a cord around this bugle. So I'm going to make sure I don't hit that. Because I'm going to save it for some colour. However, I'm not sure what colour to do it. Because they're sort of black trimming, I don't know if I hit black on it. Or for the sake of cavalry, I'll put some yellow on it. In fact, yeah, I'm going to put yellow on it. That's just because it will bring a colour to a very black and grey unit. Right. We're going to do that belt buckle, sword. Right. So you see a bit of cloth. Oh, that's a bit white still. And you see that bit of cord around the bugle. Gonna hit that with a yellow, and it will just look. I think that'll look a bit smart having that. So yeah. So I probably should be doing these individual buttons on these. But two things. There's a slim chance that those buttons are black because their uniform's black. And secondly, they look like a right pain in the bum to paint. So I'm going to leave them. I think it's weighing up the possibility of, yes, I can add the really fine gold buttons in, details. But one, I'm not that good at painting. Two, I don't think you'll notice. And three, what you will notice is a really sloppy paint job on the buttons. So it's almost better off leaving them because they'll look smarter if left. I think that makes sense. I think you're less likely to notice they're not painted, but you are more likely to notice if they've been painted badly. So we'll leave it. I've got to do their hairs actually. Looking brilliant. Thank you very much, Robert. It's coming along nicely actually, thinking about it. I'm actually, yeah, really liking the end result. These metallic details just really pop as well, which is nice. So they've got buttons on their cuffs as well, but I'm just a bit worried about. I'm not sure what I'll gain from the mini by painting them. Such a fine detail, I just don't think you'll really see them. But again, if I cock it up and do a bad job at painting them, you will see it. So, I know the feeling. Spent most of my day, most of today, finishing my partially finished Hayes, Louisiana Brigade, about 120 infantry and a battery of artillery. The 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and the 14th Louisiana Guard and the Louisiana Guard battery. Damn, that's a lot. Fair play. You over the worst of it? Oh yeah, this guy's just the standard guy, isn't he? Not sure what happened with this chap. He's not got his 1st Virginia sack coat. Yeah, I've got a lot of infantry left to paint, which I'm looking forward to doing, but I'm going to do it at probably just one regiment at a time rather than taking on too much. I just want to enjoy them. And there is a regiment of infantry sat on the side, which I think are Redoubt, and they just look fantastic. So I want to just take. I just want to. Oh, I've just realised I've not painted the cavalry buckles. That's annoying. Yeah, I just want to take my time with them a bit, really. I'm going to use the gold pen for that. In fact, I'm not doing it. Right, let's no on oil. No, not now. Grey. Let's shake this one up. But yeah, I think when I get these have I done that right? Yeah. When I get these painted, yeah, with my inventory, I'll just slow it down a bit and yeah, right. What was I think we'll just do this grey wood effect in this pole before I forget. All right, that's that. However, our next ACW campaign, we are switching side. I pulled the 2 Louisiana brigades of Jackson Corps. Nice. How are you painting their uniforms? Are you going for anything? Are you sort of going for more butternuts and stuff, or I don't know if there's any sort of standout Louisiana regiments apart from Wheats and the first Louisiana, is it? Which are the Zouaves. Right, I've forgotten what these I'm doing with these. I think I need to paint the hats, and then I can do the details. Right. What am I going to do their hats in? I can do dark browns. So my favourite colour, wildwood. I'm not sold on snakebite leather, I don't think. Let's see what is snakebite leather. That's what I've painted the horses in. Skeleton horde, no. Garrick's. I think this is quite a dark colour. Yeah, let's give that a go. Let's paint. I do have black hats as well. It's way too much. Well, I'll tell you what, that's actually alright. Let's spread it around a bit. Yeah, I don't mind it. Oh, that's good actually. That's a good colour. I like that. Kind of building that palette up for my Confederates. In contrast, I'll just paint one more of these hats and then I'll show you. It's actually it's a nice colour. I do have a habit of putting on contrast paints quite thick, which is fine, but it doesn't have quite the contrasty effect. Like here, I'm working it around a bit more, so I'm actually getting that colour come through a bit. I don't know if I should do all their hats the same colour because it might look a bit odd. But Louisianans wore a lot of light grey uniforms and red shirts, so not a lot of butternut, lots of light greys and light blues. I got a freebie bottle of light blue from Warlord. That's just perfect. Oh, nice. I do like the greys. I do like Confederate greys. But then, yeah, butternuts are nice as well. Here we go. See that hat? You can't really see the hat colour, to be honest, but it's actually a really nice brown. I like it. I don't know how to do the officer's hat. Do I give them all the same colour hat? Is that a bit much? Tell you what I'm going to do. He's going to have a black hat. He's going to have a brown hat. He'll have a... And then I can chuck in a couple of... brownish decay, which is what I've been using a bit of a butternut, but I might chuck that in as a right. Garrick Sewer, you're my new favourite. Could you replace Wildwood? I don't think you'll ever replace Wildwood. The paint is just too good. I'm really liking that. I really like that brown. Right, Tim, they look awesome, mate. Thank you very much. Thomas, my other Confederates are mostly butternut, so this is a nice change from my constant change of butternut formula. Cav is looking very nice. Thank you, Thomas. Yeah, I did it sort of in reverse, where I did a lot of greys to start with. And then I was just like, oh, have I fallen into the trope of Confederate grey, when obviously a lot of regiments wore butternut. So I've kind of consciously trying to make an effort of putting more butternut in. Because also it looks nice on the tabletop having these Confederate regiments or Confederate brigades sort of standing out from each other because of their uniforms, you know. So yeah, it's nice to change it up a bit, and having that butternut is a way of doing it. It looked good, a nicer variety of different coloured hats. Used to wear whatever they could get hold of during the war. Yeah, I think yeah, I'm conscious I don't want them all to be wearing the same colour hat. But it's nice because since I've come back to painting, I've sort of shifted to this contrast paint technique now, which is definitely worth it. I'm happy I've done it, and I'm going to stick with it. But I just need to find my colour palette now, because I had it sort of figured out with standard paints, whereas now I'm having to figure it out. Right, I think I painted one too many brown hats, but that's fine. I think these guys will be in brownish decay, and then the last guy is going to have a black hat. And then I think I'll put the gold star on the front of the Texas Lancers. Let me just double check it, actually. See what old Google Images suggests. Did they have their gold stars on the front of hats? The fact that these are modelled with them, I think I'm just going to do it. I'll tell you what, you guys let me know in the chat what you think. I think the gold star would look smart. I mean, like, people like infantry badges on their kepis and stuff, which are brass. So. With the two brigades that I've done, there is two brigades that are very Union looking, based on AP Hill's men, two Virginian brigades in the greys and the blues, and three mostly buttoned up brigades. Yeah, it's nice having that. I've tried to do that with certain regiments where they have more Union looks, where it's just more blue trousers or something like that. But yeah, it's nice to have that variation, I think. And it's a great way of telling brigades apart. Yeah, that's looking nice. Once these hats dried, I can go in and do the hair as well, because I've not actually done the hair. And there ain't actually a lot on these sculpts. Well, not on these Texas Lancers. And then gold detailing and whatnot. I reckon gold. Always believe in your soul. Thank you, Mark. It's very wise words. Wise words from a wise man. I'm gonna put a sticker on these at some point, just to show which one is the good black, because I've got two shades of black from Citadel. One I don't like, one I do. Only real outlaying units are the yellow pantaloons on Hampton's Legion, my Louisiana Zouaves, and my 1st Virginia Battalion. Oh, is that the Hampton Zouaves? Those yellow pantaloons? Because yeah, they're nice, aren't they? My first Virginia Battalion were entirely in a Union. In Union in appearance, other than dark blue trousers, based on the historic uniform of the First Virginia Battalion of First Virginia Volunteers. Yeah, that's the thing. Is I think a lot of these, especially if they were militias that obviously then went to the Confederacy, a lot of them had their own sort of uniforms before the war. It's like where you have a lot of these Union militias that wore grey early war, and that's just because that's their militia uniform, and then they had to sort of shift it out. So yeah, but yeah, like you said, what was it? AP Hill's Corps at a battle that I can't quite remember, and when they came on which one? It's the one with the battle. It's Antietam, where he turns up last minute, saves the day, hits Burnside in the side. But yeah, was it then when they came onto the field and Union just thought they were Union because they looked like it? Until they got up close, that I might have that completely wrong. However, sounds good. Right. What have I got left to do on these guys? These guys need their hair doing. That needs silver. That needs yellow. Let's do that. I think that song was one that hurt my vocal cords in the end last night. Says Mark. It's the straw that broke the camel's voice box, I would say. Just Matt. I don't think it's one song's to blame on that. There we go. So there's a bit of yellow. Just a little bit of yellow. Just so it's clear and obvious that he's cavalry. Because you would have sort of infantry aides and officers running around, right? So, Antietam, AP Hill wore mostly Union uniforms after capturing Harper's Ferry. There we go. My memory is rusty, but not completely rusted over. But yeah, that's the thing with especially with the Confederacy capturing stuff, isn't it? So makes sense. We parted like it was the end of the Battle of Palmito Ranch, says Mark. Have you Googled something? You've been Googling? Firstly, I don't know what that is, but oh, the final battle of the war. Yeah, I'm one of those who just thinks the I was going to say Appomattox is the big one, right? It was in the Trans-Mississippi Department. No, just the Eastern Theatre around here. Just the Eastern Theatre we're interested in. Maybe we'll dabble in the Western, but Trans-Mississippi? But fair play for your commitment to the period and your learning. Right. So that's done. So I think I'll do all the... Oh, so let's do the silver first. Oh, I'm just so close I can taste it. Once we've done the metals, I can hit a wash on there, and then it's just a matter of going back over with gold detail. That's it. On another note, the 1st Virginia Battalion was one of the few Confederate regulars, i.e. standing army unit. They were known as the 1st Virginia Regulars and the 1st Irish Battalion. Yeah, that was... I was looking at something the other day. I was thinking of doing a little video talking about volunteers and regulars in the American Civil War. And then, yeah, I guess it's in a war that is so swallowed up by volunteers, you sort of forget that regular infantry was a thing. I know you had, well, you had US regulars at Gettysburg, for example, if we want to just use Gettysburg as the datum. You had a good, I think you had at least one brigade there, right? And then yeah, obviously the Confederacy had regulars as well, which is something that was, I say, new to me. I don't know why I didn't think they would, but yeah, you just don't really think of it. But yeah, interesting. Right, let's get the. They need to dry a little bit. Let's do the hair on these guys. The 1st Virginia Cavalry, well, my 1st Virginia Cavalry only recruit brunettes, which is rather convenient because I'm only going to be painting brunettes. It'd be like powdered wigs, but brunettes. Right, can I even see hair on this guy? No. I kind of can, but also it's not really sculpted with hair. This guy, however, is. I don't know if I'm going to paint his wound in or not. He's obviously got a hole in his chest. Right. Thomas, more Irish died serving in the US regulars at Gettysburg than in the dedicated Irish regiments, i.e. the Virginia served... 1st Virginia served until Chancellorsville, then became Lee's military police. Well, you could argue the Irish Brigade were pretty depleted by Gettysburg. So maybe that's why they didn't lose as many casualties. Antietam really done a number on them, right? Am I going to give this guy a moustache? I think I will. Let's give him a bit of a beard. There you go. Got a bit of a beard. He is ready to cut down a Yank. Right, he's not really got hair I can paint. Having these big floppy hats makes it pretty hard to sort of paint the back of their neck, but I mean, there's no sculpted hair on there, so. This guy is the same, which is an easier job for me. I don't mind it. This officer is the same. That just leaves this guy, which, yeah, it's the same. Okay, that's fine. Right, I'm going to just realise there's still more details on these guys I've not finished, which is the guns. So that gun, that gun, that gun. And that guy needs... I've missed a bit of flesh on his hand. Let's do that set. Keep going back in and touching up bits, but that's fine. That's what we're here for. Hmm. You need to do a bit of gold detailing on that gun. Antietam and Fredericksburg, the 69th, 88th, and 63rd New York mustered 100 men at Gettysburg between 3 regiments. an officer asked the Irish what the regiment. They replied it was the whole brigade. Yeah, it is sad. Because yeah, these obviously were a very prestigious brigade. It's only the same as the Iron Brigade. They were really done at Gettysburg. That sort of finished them off. Yeah, it is sad, really. I think they're mostly done, so I'm going to go with the gold detailing on these guys. But again, it's this whole thing of the Union raising regiments, new regiments, rather than keeping older ones going. I know there's more to it than that. It's not as simple as that, but yeah. Shame. Let's do this. Let's do that. No. A bit of gold details down. Oh, his hat. Right, this brush might need to sit down for a minute because it's given up its point. Because it's just fine detailing into it at the moment. This guy's Sabre and Scabbard. Been blown away by a cannonball, I reckon. At some point it's been broken off. I just realised I haven't done the buttons or anything. And the horses. I keep forgetting about the horses. The 3 Irish brigades were the highest casualties. Sorry, the 3 brigades with the highest casualties in order: the Iron Brigade, the Vermont Brigade, and the Irish Brigade. All Eastern Theatre and all with heavy Irish ties. And you think for example, the Iron Brigade at Gettysburg, you think what they went through. The first day when they had to fight Heath's division. And then they were on Culp's Hill for the second day, weren't they? They had to deal with a load of fighting there. They were really up against it. So no wonder they suffered such heavy casualties. I think it's a shame with the Iron Brigade as well, is that they mustered out before the end of the war. Or a lot of them were, and they formed another. I think they all lumped in with another Wisconsin. Or I can't remember the story now. That was the same. There was just nothing really left of the regiment or brigade. I always think it would make sense if you were, if you had an army, you had the famed Iron Brigade fighting for you. You would want to keep it going, and you'd want it at max strength. So you'd think you'd want to reinforce that unit and keep its reputation going, because that reputation was quite a strong thing, I think, during the war, of some of these units. So yeah, you would have thought you'd want to keep it going. Maybe not. More yellow here as well. All right. You always read about the Confederates saying those damn black hats, Iron Brigade. Here comes those damn green flags, Irish Brigade. Yeah, I know. It was definitely a psychological thing to a certain aspect, and you just wonder why they let it go. Obviously, there's more to it, and I think. Yeah, I just would have thought you'd want to keep them going. But also, like a morale, it's not necessarily the effect on the enemy, it's the effect on your own troops. You know, if you see a rock hard unit, like if you were lining up in battle and you have the Iron Brigade come and line up up against you, or side by side with you, that would probably change your mentality, I think. You'd be a bit more willing to fight, knowing you got a veteran unit next to you. But yeah, who knows? I'm sure there was a reason behind it. Because obviously, like the Confederacy tended to rule of thumb would be they would tend to reinforce units or replenish units, whereas the Union would tend to make new ones. But then also you could argue the Confederacy had a harsher service. You know, you had them first sign up for like 3 years, and then I think halfway through the war they just revoked their time. So essentially, they were then serving for the rest of the war. Whereas I think maybe the Union were a bit more true to their enlistment, and then become your 3 year or 1 year. Then they. But then look, a lot of these guys just sort of re-enlisted anyway. I think that's what a lot of the Iron Brigade did. They would just enlist into a new regiment. Nice. Yeah, Antietam, when Meagher reinforced, or Mahar, sorry, reinforced Kimball's brigade, many of Kimball's men who had been fighting for 3 hours refused to leave the field. Yeah, it's a big psychological thing. Right, we're getting there. So all the detailing, more or less done. I'm going to now hit them with a wash on their metallics. And that is then ready for just picking out the gold. Have I missed anything? Have I done the hair on these Texas Lancers? No. Do they have hair to paint? Probably not. So yeah. The Irish Brigade also stayed because they re-enlisted, briefly separated for 2 months, then formed the 2nd Irish Brigade in 1864. Yeah. Right. Cool, I'm happy with these. Wait a minute, there were Irish people in the American Civil War. Ha 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 ha. A real walloper by Mark there. Yeah, just a handful of them. Do you know who don't get enough screen time? Germans. The Germans in the Union. Is it, I'm going to get this wrong now. Oh, what's his name? Not Heinzelmann. Oh, no. Really disliked Union General. He wasn't 12th Corps, was he? I was about to say there were a few Germans. Yeah, there was like a whole corps of them, and they were people didn't like them because they just had this reputation of running in battle all the time and not really fighting. When I think that was purely a myth. Right, who am I thinking of? Franz Siegel. There we go. That's who I was thinking of. Siegel. Yeah. Yeah. He had. Well, what did he have? He was a corps, wasn't he? This was when. Was it when Grant tried to sucker punch the Confederacy, when he was going to be like, right, the idea is we attack, like, you know, kind of like with, I think, mid to late war was, yeah, they were fighting Lee, for example, but Lee could kind of, one Union army would hit or something, and then someone else do something. So, for example, like with Chickamauga and what else am I thinking of? The other battle that were quite close together with Bragg. Lee sent his a whole corps under James Longstreet over to help with Bragg, and arguably they had a victory over there in the West. But the fact that Lee was able to do this, Lee sending off probably his most competent general at the time to leave the Eastern Theater to go over to the West. You know, this was sort of a failure on the Union side where they just weren't applying enough pressure. So Grant basically turned around and go, what we're going to do, we're going to hit the Confederacy. Chattanooga, there we go. Chickamauga and Chattanooga. Thank you very much, Thomas. Yeah, we're just going to hit in all the places all at once. And this is where you had... was it Banks going... Anyway, I'm getting distracted. So... and I think Franz Siegel was one of these army or corps commanders at the time who was basically tasked and hitting at one point, and basically just didn't do a very good job of it. But I don't think it was really his fault. But yeah, he didn't have a good shot. And yeah, Thomas was basically put in there saying the Germans lost a lot of face after Siegel's blusters, and the mostly German 11th Corps being known as the Flying Dutchman, especially after Chancellorsville. Siegel in the Valley was a disaster. Yeah, I think was it Siegel in the Valley in the Grant's campaign that I was just talking about. I think it was. Yeah, so was it 11th Corps that were the corps that was completely obliterated at Chancellorsville when Jackson hit them inside? So yeah. So yeah, I think the Germans had a bad rap. But I think they were hard fighters. I goes to fight mit Siegel. Yeah. Apparently that's a famous quote by him, according to Google. Don't know about it. He's a mean-looking son of a gun as well. So yeah, he was in charge of 11th Corps then, is that right? Yeah, the Valley campaigns launching an invasion of Shenandoah Valley, who surrounds yeah. Cool. Oh yeah, so by the looks of it, according to quick Wikipedia, Siegel lost his command near the end of the war because he wasn't that good. But yeah, but again, yeah, like the big, large number of Germans. So yeah, the Irish obviously talked about a lot. But yeah, you had a lot of Germans as well. Right, I've stalled. Oh, I've got chatting, which is fine. It's allowed. But let's get on with it. Right, yeah, the 11th Corps took Jackson's flank and and completely ran. Siegel in 1864, Shenandoah Valley was useless. The campaign was only successful when Sheridan took over. Yeah, yeah. I wonder. He's a military general though. He's not a political appointed. Or was he a? I don't know. Who knows? Right, let's carry on painting. I'll get away from talking about Franz Siegel. But yeah, there's a lot going on. I'd like to think you can't really blame him for what he got up to, but maybe he was just rubbish. I don't know. I'd like to think he was trying his best. Right, last push now. Last push. Oh no, I've not painted this guy's gun. Oh, and I've just realised I've not done the horses either. Ooh. Alright, I think we're going to have to stop a minute. What a failure. I always refer to the 6th Louisiana, 35 different nationalities in one regiment, mostly Irish Germans, but also French and Italians. That's cool. When arguing about Siegel, my go-to is, could you do any better yourself? Yeah, it's yeah. The war's never I think black and white. And who else would I say? Also, I think you get a lot of commanders who end up probably commanding above their ability. John Bell Hood, for example, Hooker. Yeah, so maybe Franz Siegel just hit his limit and shouldn't be commanding corps. But I mean, yeah, you say, in the field he wasn't great. But then you could say the same about McClellan. I don't think you could say he was a bad General McClellan, because he was actually, he's quite he whipped the Army of the Potomac into shape, really. But yeah, I'm using the pen to do this gold detailing because it's actually quite nice. This is just the horse tack, whatever it's called. Hooker and Burnside commanded way above their ability, Hood and even AP Hill from the Confederates. Sigel was very competent brigade and visual commander, just not core commander material. Yeah, you're right. There's so many examples throughout the war of it. But also you get to the point in the war where they didn't have a choice. You look at AP Hill, for example. Lee just started running out of, and I think with the pressure from on the Union, where they just want results, this is where you just get a shift around of them, the top brass, and that's probably led to people being somewhere where they probably shouldn't be. Sort of why Hooker end up in Army Command. Meade, obviously, because of, I'm not saying Meade shouldn't have been Army Command. I think he was pretty solid, but he only made it down due to the failure or perceived failure of his person in front. Can you do a size comparison between Studio Historia and the Perry Cav, and did you upscale the Cav to 105%? I'll do it in a sec. I'm just going to finish these. I can't remember how I printed these cavalry, if I printed them at 105% or not. So sorry, that's not very helpful. But I will do a size comparison. Just going to, I'll do it now. Trying to use this little pen, but the tip is almost already not very good. Right. I can't remember if I did a size comparison the first time round. I would say at the moment these sit a little bit small. The Studio Historia. Not massively though. Not massively. Maybe that's the best way to have them. Obviously, this horse. Saying that, this horse is a bit more upright. Where all the Studio Historia horses are galloping, so they're going to be a bit more crouched down. You know, they're going to be a bit more down in the saddle. But yeah, again, like with this, I think having them as two separate regiments, you wouldn't even tell. But yeah, I mean, looking at that, I think I would upscale it slightly. However, I can't be sure what they're scaled at now. So, assuming they're currently at 110% print size, I would up it to 5%. Yeah. Again, I'm not really sure when I'm next going to be printing cavalry, but I'll make a note of it and I'll try to remember. Again, I know I've been starting to print the infantry at 105%. just can't remember if I printed these. Yeah, I can't remember. Can't remember. Now I'm thinking about it, I think they might be at 105% because I think these came after my infantry. A lot of my infantry I printed at 105%. Can't say for sure. Just remembered I've not done this officer. Right, let's quickly do this officer because I've not actually painted him quite right. I say I haven't painted him quite right. I've not painted his saddle blanket properly because it's got to have the gold bit of trim around it because he's an officer. Officers like to stand out in the field. All right. Is anyone working on anything tonight? Don't know if I've asked. I'm gonna tell you what, let me start working on this. Mark, how are you feeling? You feeling better? Has this stream made you feel worse? Thomas, I'm doing my latest brigade commanders. Oh, very nice. I need to that's something I really need to knuckle down and get done, is just sort out my brigade and divisional commanders because I just haven't got any. I haven't really got any. Not how I want them anyway. Mark's just trying to survive this evening. Well, fair play. Best of luck. Right, this now I need to do this here. Let me just working on my Union Provost, battle on his Union Cav. both Eastern and Western. Very nice, very nice. It's a busy chat tonight. We're all a busy group. That's what Sundays are for, aren't they? Before we head back into the fray, that is the work week. Oh, cavalryman, happy. Like a rhinestone cowboy. Don't know why that's in my head. Right. Knock that. Just want to knock that silver down a bit, I think. And then do that. Right, there was something I missed, I think. No, we're good. I think I was looking for a gun. But it's here. Right, what was I missing on this guy? Why have I not? This guy, it's because I didn't paint his gun, but that's painted and probably dry now. Ah. I always have a lot going on, which is why it takes so long to finish anything. Plus, I'm slow. Nothing wrong with having a lot of projects on. I've actually really enjoyed doing my hobbying a bit like this, where admittedly I'm using the streams as a bit of an anchor, but it's yeah, it just means I'm not fluttering about too much or doing anything a bit overwhelming. I'm just sort of enjoying it, which is nice. Put these there. Right, I've missed this guy, I think. Not tonight, says Robert. Tomorrow, having to help my grandchild finish off his Sherman tank he is doing. Oh, nice. What's that? Is that is this a real tank or is this just a 28mm tank? Or is it a 15mm tank? You tell me. Sounds good though, Robert. I've forgotten which rule set are you basing these figures for? Well, technically black powder or Pickett's charge, because realistically that's what rules I will be playing with these models. But hello, David, welcome in. Welcome in. New to the stream, but not to wargaming. What's the general score here? Thumbnail picture. The score is we're painting some American Civil War cavalry currently. So yeah, it's just sort of a chill painting stream, and we're all having a chat. And yeah, I'm just slugging my way through some cavalry. Now these are 3D printed sculpts by myself from Studio Historia, and we have the Texas Lancers. So the fifth Texas Mounted Rifles Company B, which I believe are Lancers. So yeah, we've got some. So if you look down here, we've got Texas Lancers here, which we just finished off, and then we've got some 1st Virginia Cavalry, which are just getting finished off, and then behind here we've got a generic Union Cavalry. I haven't designated them yet. But yeah, so we're just chugging on. Now this is going to be the last stream for the cavalry because, yeah, we've almost finished them. And then it'll be on to next week's stream. So I'm stream every Sunday, if I've not made that clear. I stream every Sunday. It's a good opportunity for me to, well, it gets me hobbying really, which and I get to share it with you guys, which is nice. So yeah, next stream will be painting up Perry Miniature's ambulance, which was very kindly donated to us by Mark, who is in the chat. So yeah, we're just chugging along with this at the moment. But yeah, we're almost there. We're just I've just put a null wash on my metallics, like the gold and the metals. And then I'm just going to go back in and highlight the gold very slightly, and then done. David, a chat and paint then. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Chat and paint. Chat and paint. It's about the American Civil War because, 1, that's what I'm painting, and 2, it's what I enjoy, and a lot of my stuff's about. So, yeah, it's American Civil War. But, I mean, you chat about whatever you want, really. So, yeah, so you have about 4K American Civil War in 6mm. Whoa, that's a collection. That's a mighty collection. What do you what manufacturers you using? Bacchus or Adler? I started a bit of a 6mm army a very long time ago. It's just sat in a box somewhere. I know exactly where it is, just on the shelf up there. But yeah, Airfix 1 in 76. Oh, nice. Very nice. That's a... right, how big is that then? I can't think of scales. But very nice, yeah, that'd be cool. Are they quite into hobbying then, Robert? Or is this sort of a new venture for them? What are you working on anything, David, then? You working on anything at the moment, or you just having a quiet Sunday? Hope you've had a good weekend. I've had a bit of a busy weekend. I've just put the Christmas tree up. I say I haven't. My wife has. Might be a bit early for some of you, but I didn't have a choice in it. And then I fitted a bath yesterday because I broke my bath. I fell over in it and broke it. So I had to replace that, which is 95% done. It's all plumbed in and sealed, which is good. Just not... I haven't put the side panel on yet. Got to figure that out. The one that came with the bath is a bit... I don't know if it's going to work. So I think to save energy, I should just buy a new one. But it seems a shame because it came with it. Bacchus, I play Altar of Freedom. That's what Greg Wagman's. I love Altar of Freedom. I say that, I've never played it, but it's something I absolutely want to get into. So I've got the rule books, I bought the expanded campaigns. I'll show you my Altar of Freedom project in a sec, whilst we're here. Because it's something I really want to play. Really want to play. I really like. In fact, no, I did play it online once on Tabletop. Tabletop Simulator. Right, let's go to this a minute. Let me get this. So here is my Altar of Freedom in 2mm, I should say. Let me get this box open. So that is my... So I've got brigades of infantry, I've done them in sort of clusters. So some are 4 on a base, some are 5 on the base. I've got cavalry here. And then I've got artillery and officers. So I went in the back of the campaign books. You've done that. I'm not going to put that back right now. Right, in the campaign books, there's in the back, it will tell you the required stands per infantry, cavalry, and stuff. So I've gone in and basically just done. So to do every battle in the Civil War, according to Otto Freedom, I should have enough bases in my collection. So the next bit now is just to paint them. That's it. And find someone to play with me. I was a long time. I say a long time. Probably 6 months ago. I was sort of training ChatGPT, AI to play against me. So I was trying to like get it, feed it scenarios, explain how the rules work, and try to get it to use the bidding system, because I think that's a really cool part of the game. But so far, no dice. Anyway, here's something I've been pondering. How should we represent a unit when they were a company, since they should be part of a regiment? So for example, like what I'm doing with these lancers, because they're technically, historically, just a company from a regiment, but I've just done them as a whole regiment. Or for example, what like Hampton's Legion, they had a Zouave company, something like that. Is that what you mean? If that's what you mean, I would say do them how you want to do them. For example, these are. I've just snapped the thing off. What do I say? Every time I snap a sword scabbard off. Yeah, I think if you just want to represent a company, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe you just, obviously it depends what rule system you're using, but if you're using black powder or like Pickett's Charge, you could just represent them as what they call like tiny units, which might be only 2 or 3 bases. So you could do it like that. So you could have them as just a, or you could up the scale of the game. So if you were playing 28mm black powder and the minimal unit is a regiment, what you could do is play a game where the minimal unit is a company. So you could say, like, you could have this regiment here, but actually it's a group of like 6 or 7 companies. It could be a way of doing it. I don't know. I think it was me. I think I would just here you go. Yeah, it's Thomas. I represent the Baker Guard Zouaves brackets 2 companies as my 69th Pennsylvania Regiment, same as Hampton's Legion. Yeah, there we go. What I do is so for example, my Hampton Legion, I've got 6 bases, and just one of them is a Zouave base. That's how I've done it. Robert says it's new to him, so the Sherman's new. That's cool. That's cool. Get him into it, have a bit of fun. That's nice. David saying it's an awesome rule set, and the chain of command system is really smart. It means you get friction where you choose. I like the term friction, which I first came across with like Too Fat Lardy games. Sharks Practice, for example, is something I absolutely love. It's just a nice aspect. Right, sorry, we need to go back to this. It's such a fun element to the game that you get. For example, Sharks Practice, you don't get to choose what unit activates. There's friction there. Chain of Command is cool because you have friction there. However, you still have control because you can choose, you can activate what unit you want, but also you can only activate however many units you roll for. So you're more or less gonna, you still get to activate what you want, kind of, but also not. But whereas Shark Practice, you just activate what comes out of the bag, right? And similar to like Black Bolt Action, Warlord Games Bolt Action, you get to activate, assuming you pull out your side's chip out of the bag, you get to activate, and then you kind of activate whatever unit you want, because they're not, it's just one of your activations rather than a side activation. Right, I need the tweezers out for this. But yeah, I really like the Ultra Freedom, how they do it. It's a really cool idea, and it's something I want to play at some point. Just need to do it. Right, I'll get back to the chat in a second. I'm just gluing that. Okay, it's glued on near enough. Okay, I rep to, sorry, yeah, I have sufficient brigades to fight any American Civil War battle, even the biggest, Fredericksburg, all painted up and working through all quiet on the Potomac scenario book. Oh, really nice. So, probably a year ago, or maybe two, yeah, I decided, yeah, so I was just going to like, tell you what, I'm going to get my Altar of Freedom built up, and I'm going to play every major battle or the Civil War. I just really like the idea of that. But then, yeah, never. Yeah, it's kind of stalled slightly. And then I was going to do it one way, and then semi recently decided to do it that way I've just showed you, which is all sort of 2mm prints and stuff. So, which has certainly slowed me down. My problem is trying to get someone to play with. I was trying to rope Mark, who's in the chat. I was trying to rope him in to maybe playing over Discord sometime, but even then, I don't think you really get the feel for it. But I don't know. It's a work in progress. I've just, funny enough, for I don't know, say 6 months, I've got a gaming table up here in the loft, and I've had First Ball Run scenario mapped out on it for Altar of Freedom for literally 6 months, and last night I packed it all away so I could do some photo shoots for my 28mm stuff. So yeah, funny that we're now talking about Altar of Freedom. Altar of Freedom's bidding system seems more realistic to the CNC. The CNC would create on the absolute vital part of the battlefield. I can concentrate. Sorry, I'm a bit asleep. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so you can direct where you want to be putting your focus. I personally think it needs to be in person. Yeah, that makes sense, Mark. I think you're right. Yeah. Tim said, "Could someone please explain bidding?" Yeah, so I'm going to try make this real simple. Each turn you get so many activation points, and you can, in secret, you kind of blind against your opponent. Say you've got like 4 brigades. You say you've got 10, say 20 priority points. You put allocate points to those brigades. And then at the start of the turn, I could be saying this wrong. David's played so much more than me, so he might be able to explain it. But you basically say you put 6 points on one brigade, 5 points on another brigade, 4 points on another brigade, and then 5. Let's say, yeah. What you do is you start at the highest point, so you'd be like, okay, so has anyone bidded 10 points to a brigade? No. 9 points? No. 8 points, and then your opponent might be like, yeah, I've got 8 points on this brigade. Okay, they activate. So it's kind of like there's more to it in the game, but I'm just trying to break it down. So it's kind of like you're almost gambling on your priority points on how much you put into a brigade. For example, if you really want this brigade to activate as quick as it can, you might dump a load of points in there, but then that takes away from potentially putting them into other things. So it's kind of a gamble because you don't know how your opponent's going to react. If your opponent's got a part of the battle that's going really well for them, you might make the assumption that they're going to want to push the priority on that, so therefore you might counter it by prioritizing your brigade. So yeah, it's kind of like a blind bid system where you use up your priority points. I got lost, got distracted. Yeah, it's kind of like a blind system, so you don't really know what they're doing. They don't know what you're doing, but it's a cool system. But there's loads of like little modifiers and stuff within the game. Like for example, different generals will have the characteristic table in the back of the book, which relates to generals and stuff, is massive. So generals will have traits assigned to them, and that can give them buffs or debuffs in game. One of them might be a general that will have a certain trait, which means you can only assign half of their priority points or something like that. Because there is a part to the game where if you don't spend all your priority points and save them to the end, you can use them for something else and stuff. So, but yeah, that's what I mean by bidding. I hope that wasn't too much, too waffly. But yeah, it's a really cool system. It's but because you're playing this sort of blind against an opponent, and it's not something I don't think you can solo play, because it's very much not knowing what your opponent's doing and them not knowing what you're doing. I think that's a big part of the game. So yeah, it's pretty hard. I think I've seen online someone talking about how they managed to set up like an AI, not like a modern AI, but like an old fashioned sort of thing that could run against. But yeah, I've not really found anything. It's something I wanted to try. I really wanted to try work an AI into it, but trying to explain how to get them to assign priority points. But it's not just black and white sign of priority points. For example, David's just mentioned in the chat about you have like a turn clock, which you can use your points towards that turn clock, and then whoever has the highest points on the turn clock gets to control how fast the turn goes, which is a whole other element to the game. But again, these priority points are so important. It's really, I think you need a human opponent to really challenge it, because there's so much going on. But yeah, I hope that helps. And with that, we are near the end of the stream, so I might just try. Let's see how far we can get with these gold detailings, because we're basically done. If I can find my gold. Worst case, I'll finish these off at the end. It doesn't matter. I can finish these off screen. It doesn't overly matter. They're basically done now, and then what I'll do is I can base them up at another time. See what we can get on with. It'd all be done if I wasn't chatting. Yeah, these are the I don't know if I said earlier, David, but these are the 1st Virginia Cavalry and the Texas Lancers, which are lovely sculpts by Studio Historia, and they look well. Not really going mad with the highlight. Just catches it. I just like the gold standing out of it, so that's why I like going in there and just adding that little finish to it. So yeah, I'm gonna try. Just try to get a bit of gold in there. Yeah, I probably should be doing the horses. Whoops. I always forget about their reins and that. Anyway, Napoleonics is the next project in 6mm using Blucher, sorry, by Sam Mustafa, as you may have guessed, Grand Tactical Army level games, and I think. Yeah, I've heard good things about Blucher. Very nice, very nice. I'm a fan of Grand Tactical as well, I must admit. I just think it's a bit more challenging to pull off on the tabletop. It's a shame my usual gaming buddies are more sort of into skirmishing games and that, so. I don't really get to try it that often. I'm not going to try hit his buttons with this highlight because I don't want to slip up and mess up. As my brushes are just giving up at the moment. Anyway, what armies are you going for, David? Or are you going to you got any sort of, or are you going to go for multiple armies? Tim, I'm gonna crack on. I've got a buddy coming over to play some Ancients board games. Nice one. Have a good time, Tim. I'll catch you next time, hopefully. And enjoy your board games. Let us know how you get on. Why be a lieutenant when you can be a general? Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, that's what's always sort of attracted me to Ultra Freedom, to be honest, was that sort of grand battle. It's how kind of when I started. So where this sort of project's got, my 28mm got a bit out of hand with it, just because it's quite a large collection now, but to actually get all these on the table is going to be something extreme. Not impossible, just be a lot going on. You're going to start at 1797. Very nice. I've just been chatting to a mate today, actually, or over the weekend, about starting 28mm Napoleonics. So I'll be looking we'll probably do, they want to do Russians. I've got a load of French sat there already, so probably look at the invasion of Russia as a sort of subject, which I think would be quite cool. Well, I think that's 1812, so not quite as early as you, but yeah, I think that'll be good. Good fun. I do like the Napoleonics because they're flashy uniforms. I don't know if I'll enjoy painting them, but we'll see. The plan is following Napoleon's career, so it's bicorns, not shakos. Yeah, I do like the bicorns. Again, I've been looking at 28mm, but Victrix does a nice bicorn set. Again, not having people I can necessarily play with kind of does put me off doing these projects. You know, if I had a regular group that played Napoleonics a lot more, I would I would definitely pick up early war French. So go for these sort of bicorn looking French. That'd be nice. But as I haven't really got a use for them, I'm a bit hesitant. Apart from just personal collections, there's no point. Alright, he is done. Right, I'm going to finish this guy and then we're going to end the stream there. I said I'll be back this time next week. We'll be taking something a little different. Right, done. Tell you what I'll try do. We're calling them done. That is the Texas Lancers. Wonder if I'm just gonna try put them on a ruler to show them up. But right, there we go. There he is. One Lancer. I really like the red pennants as well. I do like that. Right, my officer. The white horse, just because. One thing I haven't done actually, which I probably will do, is just paint the hooves. I never know how to paint hooves. I just paint them grey. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. But here we go. Done. We're 10 minutes over on the stream, but that's not a problem. I'm going straight to bed anyway, so I'll rest up. But yeah, no, really happy with how the Lancers turned out, actually. Really happy with them. They just look great. Flag-wise, where have I put them now? They're gone. I did have my flags from Studio Historia that I got printed off, but oh well, they're gone. They're gone. We'll forget that for now. But yeah, so I'm going to probably just put some paint on the hooves, then base them and put the flags on, and then I'll chuck a video up when I'm done with them on the channel. But for now, yeah, they're done. So let me see if I can find this a sec. Where's that gone? There we go. Right, so check this out. This is our next project, which will be our ambulance from Perry Miniatures. So, yeah, I'm going to get this all primed up. I've got some more people, but they're on a stick, and I'll paint them on the stick. But yeah, we'll get this guy. This might be one streamer, who knows? We might get it done in one stream. So a few bits and bobs to do, but we'll get that done. So yeah, that'll be next stream. Thanks, Robert. I appreciate it. I'm happy with how they turned out. I think once they put some mud on the base, it'll make them look a bit more stand out and they'll look a bit smarter. David, what time do I start stream? I start stream at 8 o'clock. So 8 o'clock and we run for a couple of hours. Sometimes do a bit later. I've had to cut a stream short once before because I was feeling a bit under the weather. But yeah, the idea behind the streams is just gets me painting. Because I don't, although I have been recently, but I've had like a year away from the hobby. And it's only in the past sort of 3 months that I've picked it back up again. And these streams are a good way. It means I'm dedicating a couple of hours a week to get some painting done. And you know, if I get some extra painting done in the week, it's a bonus. So I'm just rattling through really. I had a big backlog of sort of artillery, which I painted up. I don't know if anyone remembers. I think I painted up 6 or 7 artillery pieces and crew in the previous sort of stream set. And then this stream, yeah, I painted up these 2 cavalry regiments. So this is the 6th episode. So yeah, there we go. And then in between, I painted up a Union regiment of cavalry. So yeah, but like I said, this was kindly donated by Mark, the Perry's ambulance. So this gets priority for next stream. We're going to get that painted up. I do have some Warlord Games Mag Civil War officers, which I'm going to have a think about. I might chuck them in with this stream as well for the ambulance. I'm not sure. And then I'll put a poll up and we'll decide what we do after that. But anyway, I'm going to end it there. Thank you for everyone who's watched this live. Anyone who is watching this back on YouTube, fair play. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching. Also, if any of you guys are interested, there is a playlist for all these live streams, so you can go check out and watch them back if you'd like. But yeah, I'm going to end it there. I'll be back next Sunday, 8 o'clock. So I'll catch you all then. Night night.